Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about this question. Is my inner work working? So oftentimes people think if it's working, it means this. I'm going to explain that. I'm going to explain how to know if it's working or what you need to do in a different way and give you some tips and tools. Watch this video. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, as always, thank you so much and welcome back. Before I start, I should mention my monthly membership. I am really pushing this right now because what's happened in the last year is miraculous healing with this amazing group of, well, I call them my tribe. The membership is called Truth Room Tribe. It's for highly sensitive people. It's for people who've been in toxic relationships. It's really just to talk about awakening to the truth of who you are and anchoring that in. And many of us who are highly sensitive walk around in the world and feel like we're alone. We don't know where our tribe is. We feel different. Where do we fit? Where are our people? It's there. So check it out, Truth Room Tribe. It's month to month. You can cancel at any time. So you're not locked into anything. I just want to mention it because it's becoming a really cool thing for a lot of people. And I just want to share that with you if you're highly sensitive. Okay, number 2, let's jump into this. So a lot of my clients have been telling me lately, when you go to the next level of healing, you start to notice things shifting. You start to notice that you're more of a neutral observer. Your perspective on things shifts into a higher zone. And my last client today that I want to mention because she's the one that made me realize I have to make this video is she said, Candace, I want to live for my higher self all the time. And I was like, great, let's do that. But oftentimes people don't know what that means and they're actually doing it without knowing it. And so this is what I want to say. She also said, she was the second person today who said to me, I'm so frustrated. I don't know if my inner work is working because listen to what happened. And it was the same scenario with both. Both clients were talking about, actually I have a lot of clients that talk about this, but both of them today were talking about feeling severe triggers on the inside as if they never did any work. Like the triggers weren't changing. In fact, they were even getting worse. And sometimes when we do the healing, the triggers will feel worse because your ego knows it's about to die. Because you've done so much inner work that you know that your aligned action will no longer be aligned with that fear thought. Example, if you're a self-sabotager, if you're a relationship sabotager, actually this is the perfect example. If you're a relationship sabotager and you fall in love and you're like, oh shit, this is scary, they're going to leave me, I got to push them away, I got to be crazy, I got to do something so they leave so that it's less painful if they leave now than if I get really involved and then they leave. That was actually me in the past too, so I really, really get that one. And one part of that, I just want to say, when we're a relationship sabotager, it's because our inner child wants us to pick us, and we've so often abandoned ourselves for a relationship in the past. So as you start doing the work, your inner child wants to remind you to please not leave me, so let's leave them because you might fall in love with them and leave me. Okay, so that's number 1. But number 2 aspect of that is realizing that that huge fear will come up if you've done inner work or not. The difference is when it came up before and you didn't do any of the inner work, you would have aligned action with that fear thought. You would do the sabotage. You would do the inner critic. You would do the self-judgment of your feelings. You would do all the things it's telling you to do because that fear thought is telling you, please don't go do what you want because it's not going to work. It's almost trying to keep you from failure, but in fact, you're already creating the failure, right? So there's that. When you start doing the inner work, it doesn't mean that your fear thoughts will be less right away. It means that your fear thoughts will be the same, and now you relate to them totally differently by doing what I call the counterintuitive thing. In my emotional rehab class, if you guys have taken it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to do the counterintuitive thing, meaning your intuition is back there when your fear is up. So your fear is up saying, please sabotage this relationship. And the aligned action with your higher self or your counterintuitive action, which will become your intuitive action when you heal this, but your aligned self would say, okay, I feel that. Thank you for letting me know all the terrible things that could happen if I don't sabotage this relationship. However, I'm not gonna. because I know what I want, and what I want is that, even though I'm scared. So when you do the inner work, and I asked both clients today, I go, did you do the fear thing, the thoughts that were coming up? And they both had the same reaction. They were both like, no, you don't even realize it. Once you do the inner work, you literally can't be disloyal to your own soul. So even though it hurts and it's scary and you're aware of it, you don't act on it. You act from your higher self, which is the counterintuitive thing, which is the thing you really want, you're just afraid of. You do it anyway. I always tell the story when I stopped sabotaging relationships is when I started outing myself, saying, oh my God, I'm about to sabotage this. When you out yourself, so this is another example. I have this awesome male client who was telling me, I'm so afraid that I'm going to ruin this relationship because I'm going to become controlling and crazy. And I said, okay, well, one way that you won't ruin it is if you become controlling and crazy and say, honey, I'm so sorry, I'm becoming that controlling, crazy version. I don't mean it. I'm so sorry. I'm really working on that. It's not what I meant. I'm sorry. Let's redo that. As soon as you out yourself, people are like, oh, that's not scary because he's aware. She's aware, right? So you're still doing the aligned action with your higher self, even if you mess up and you're like, shit, I'm being controlling. I'm being crazy. You can say, like me and my old self, I would be like, I'm going to sabotage. Oh my God, I'm scared. I have abandonment wounds. And my partner would be like, don't do that. I'm not leaving. You're not leaving. We're not leaving. Let's not do that. So you can always reverse the action. You don't have to worry about being perfect, right? You ain't going to mess it up as long as you keep being honest, being real about how you feel so you can heal. Oh my God, you know what? I'm feeling threatened right now. I don't want to do something scary. I'm just letting you know I'm feeling threatened, right? It works. So the point is, if you've done inner work and you're still feeling super triggered, it's normal. You're going to feel maxed out on triggers when you really start to heal because your triggers are really afraid that you're about to be in your light. And the whole point of the ego is to keep you away from yourself because yourself, the parts of yourself in the shadow, you deemed at a young age as not worthy and scary and not safe to be loved because I wasn't getting love for being me. So you put that part in the shadow. We'll be talking about that in my shadow work course, also below for the waitlist. Just have to give you a little shout out because it's coming up soon. So when you do that, you have to understand this scary, scary fear voice, all it's doing is trying to prevent you from being you. So what you need to do if you want to be your true self is align with the part of you that wants what you want, that you're so afraid of. You know, one of my clients is like, I don't know if this is a healthy relationship or not because I got all this fear coming up. I said, oh, that means there's a lot of love to be afraid of. So it doesn't mean, when we have fear, it doesn't mean, just listen to that fear. It means acknowledge the fear and then see what's behind it. And then act on behalf of the loving choice anyway. Now listen, this is much easier said than done, but it's doable. And that's why I always tell people, you can mess up, that's fine, but everything is a mirror. One thing I want to mention, because this has come up a lot in the last few days, is that people often wonder, why can't I break this pattern? I've done all this inner work, why can't I break it? And I said, you're forgetting to look at the mirror. One client was telling me she's constantly dating these men that are like perfect love bombers, right? They love her so much, and then it's immediate devaluation, immediate, I'm dumping you. I said, all right, well, let me ask you something. I know that all relationships are a reflection of your relationship with your inner child in one way or another. So let me show you something. I said, do you leave yourself for a man when you fall in love? She says, yeah, immediately. I said, wasn't that funny? Because that's what you just said about what they do to you. They are mirroring the aspect of you that is begging you to stay with it regardless of who else you love. When we can stay with ourselves and be in love, we are winning because then we're never going to be threatened. Our inner child will never be afraid that you're going to leave it again. If you leave yourself and you compromise your needs or what you really want for a relationship, you've just abandoned yourself. So you're probably in a relationship with someone who will abandon you. Think about this. When we put our inner child first and we develop that emotional intimacy with her or him, and then we get into a relationship and we say, I'm never leaving you for this person, this guy, this girl, but I will bring you with me at all times. And if this person goes against our boundaries, we will leave. That's an amazing commitment to healthy boundaries and a healthy self. So if you can get that right and then start to explore attaching to another or connecting because your attachment to self is so secure, then that pattern won't need to be a pattern because you've broken it. You've broken it from within. So I just want to share that today. Is my inner work working? Now you know. If it's working, it's because it's pretty triggering, but you're not aligning with that fear. You're aligning with the desire that you really have in your heart. Guys, I hope this finds you well. Please share with one other person who you think might benefit in some way from hearing this message. Please click the links below because you will get announcements on when my courses are launching again this year. There's other things down there as well. So please check it out. Please share. Please subscribe and have an amazing week. See you soon.